we will have another round of discussion on the environment and the markets and other things. But now we are starting. As we proposed, I'm thankful that you have come here for the meeting. We will here to discuss how we can better use this space created by World Social Forum to reflect and propose alternatives to present an unsustainable development model. So I think we should start with a self introduction. And I there's in your table in front of you there's a copy of registration. So you please write down your name, your organization, country, thematic areas of work, email and contact addresses. So
can I suggest we just use one paper and circulate it instead of 30 papers? We'll use the back side one. Okay. Okay. So this is the paper. We are starting from here. 5 or 6 weeks.
I've already written
Yes,
down.
yes.
You can pass it on.
You can
Pass it on, please.
Okay.
Others have written likewise.
So we can just club it together. Have you written it?
Yes, I have
So,
already.
yes, we
So
just
club it together and pass it on. People can
Okay, so my name is Uwais Sultan Khan and I live in Delhi and I work with SADIS, South Asian Dialogues on Ecological Democracy. As a program secretary, I'm also associated with Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam and the Vikalp Sangam process, the confluence of alternatives in India.
Namaskar, my name is Ashish Kothari. I work with a group called Kalpavriksha based in Pune in India. And over the last 35-36 years we've been working on environment and development issues. Last few years we've started this process which always just introduced called the Alternatives Confluence or Vikalp Sangam, which is a process of trying to bring people who are working either practically or conceptually on alternatives in India together on a common platform and from that sort of develop a more conceptual framework of an alternative society. I'll speak more about that later.
Good morning, Marko Ulvela from Tampere, Finland. Couple of roles, one that Sevenpool Foundation chairperson since the beginning of the year, and then one of the initiators of the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam network, some 10 years back.
Good morning, I'm Shoma Datta. I'm from India. I live in Delhi's periphery now, just outside. It used to be a very urban area. And I work with a lot of grassroots movements and also some NGOs, but work mostly on the interfaces of climate crisis, energy, water, these kind of issues, and where they interface with each other, what kind of things are emerging, and also on the alternatives on energy and related issues.
I am Arif Ahmad. I do not work anywhere, enjoying my state of joblessness. But thanks to Vijayji, I think he seems to have adopted me, have you?
Yes, as guardian.
So I am at his disposal.
Little bit about your political journey.
Is that interesting?
Yes.
very, very.
Well, I started working very young and was member of the State Assembly, Parliament in the government, minister in UP government, in central government. He is mentioning about emergency again and again. So I was also one of the detainees in emergency who spent 15 months in jail. Wrote my final law examination from jail. Rest is history.
Yes. He is one person who sees issues of, in India, communalism means community hatred against the other and distress against the other, not communal in the positive sense in which European use the communitarian.
Yeah.
So,
Because our country was partitioned on religious
grounds. So he is one person who sees this issue as indivisible and he sees it as a issue of values rather than of identities of Hindus or Muslims. And for that he is isolated a great deal and he is appreciated a great. So he has friends and enemies because of his clear-cut views, clear-cut views, and what would be said as offbeat, out of the box, but actually, according to him, that's the reality, and people have, for complex set of historical reasons, are shy of speaking the truth in its totality about these identity issues particularly. Anyway, I am Vijay Pratap. Most of you know me, except a friend from. I've been since '68 in the Gandhi-inspired socialist movement, and in the conventional sense of work, I also don't work anywhere. Till mid-80s, I used to criticize others, and now I advise others and appreciate others' work. I don't work myself.
My name is Asim Srivastava. I live in Delhi. Trained as an economist. I work independently as a writer on issues connected with globalization and environment. I've also been a teacher in the past of economics and philosophy. Right now I'm working on a book on the ecological vision of Rabindranath Tagore.
I'm Torbjörn from Sweden. I've been a neon sign designer for many years, and I'm teaching exhibition design. I have been active in the movement since 1970 at the UN conference in Stockholm, 72, where Indira Gandhi took part, Nila Garwal, and since then I've been working on the local level, on the national level, and the international level. We started in 1983 the Popular Movement Study Group, which had very much the same ideas as Lokayan, which was part of these processes towards Vasudhaiva Kumbhakarna. I'm also a mainstream NGO on a volunteer basis in Friends of the Earth Sweden, some kind of coordinator of the EU committee. I've been very strongly criticizing the whole social forum for being a neoliberal cooptation of the movement in terms of a market form. And I was appointed international coordinator of the European Social Forum in Europe in Malmö 2008, and now I'm the only one from Sweden still maintaining the Social Forum complex, more or less. And I'm especially interested in Eastern Europe, which is normally always excluded from these kind of processes because they are not the third world, so they never have any resources. And right now I'm much involved in Ukraine conflict. I did initiate the idea of commemorating the Salt March, the 75-year anniversary in the Nordic countries. 50 actions took place, which was much more political than in India. I've been writing a book about the relationships between Gandhi and the popular movement of India and the Nordic countries the last 100 years, from February 1917. And right now I'm sort of seems to be the one who is more critical towards Friends of the Earth International and Friends of the Earth Sweden and any organizations, WK, etc. And seems to have more contact and cooperations with all these kind of movements. So we cooperate. My main area right now is the struggle against depopulation of the countryside, which is worse in Sweden than any other OECD country. The food self-sufficiency is lower than 50%, is the worst in the European Union. Urbanization is the worst in the EU. And we are working closely with the rural communities to oppose this. So I'm a bit too much involved in everything, but it's very nice to be here.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Hanna from the Seven Foundation. I'm the director Our foundation, and as you all know, Sevenpool Foundation is the Finnish NGO foundation formed by 15 Finnish development and environmental organizations. We as a foundation, we have been involved in WSF since the beginning of our foundation, mainly through our partners who have been active in the forum process, but we have had some participation from our side, from Finland, also in all the forums since 2002, I guess. But this is the first time that we are in the bigger delegation and as more organized as the Sevenpool Foundation forum.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Indra Adhikari. I'm from Nepal, and I'm working with CIDIT since 2006. While I was doing PhD in engineering, I was partially associated with it. And after completion, we went back to Kathmandu and we registered an NGO, CIDIT Nepal, and we are working with close coordination with CIDIT India. I'm partly associated with I'm a member of the NIGP and also UK.
Hello everybody. I'm Olli-Pekka Haavisto from Finland. I have been a voluntary activist in Sevenpool since 2008, and Sevenpool is the connection why I am here during this week. But my activism is not based on Sevenpool actually. One background is, of course, Friends of the Earth Finland, but I share very much the analysis Tord said about those NGOs in the Western world or in Europe or in Sweden and Finland. I think that the way those has been professional is a very difficult way. Too much discussions and compromising with the ruling regime, what its ways. I'm also part of the so-called rising tide movement. It is called Hyökyaalto in Finland. It was created before the Copenhagen climate meeting 2009, but it is still there, and the issues is not only climate issues, but largely environmental issues, nuclear power, campaigning against nuclear power, and also searching new economic ways. According to my understanding, this planet is ecologically collapsing very soon. It is not in the future, it happens now, and you from the south see it very well. In Finland and in Europe, or Middle and Northern Europe, we can avoid this understanding because of the relatively high material standard in those countries. And for example, we don't understand in Finland or in Sweden that the freshwater crisis in the world is huge. And right now, we don't understand that the soil is scarce. There is not living soil that much we need. For example, humanity uses for growing plants as much as the whole Latin America, that big area, and for animal growing as much as the whole Africa. In Sweden, in Finland, in Europe, we cannot see this because we have this.
Can I suggest that we
Yeah.
handle these issues? We just do a round of it.
Okay,
First and
so sorry.
Sorry.
I am so angry.
And justified.
It's very natural.
You are justified in being.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. Thank you.
So I'm Lee Solomon. I'm from Helsinki, Finland, and also in Selby board and one here, two one here. I'm fresh graduate from the Helsinki University, and my major was environmental science and politics. So